Hello, everybody. I'm here representing AgriTech, which is a company based in Columbia, South Carolina, but also here to promote AgriTech North Carolina, a company that we hope to develop both a management team and an investment team to support. Let me take advantage of this first slide and tell you a little bit about torrefaction. If you speak French, the French torrefy coffee beans. They roast them to give them the rich color and flavor. And you'll notice on the bottom here, raw wood chips on the left side, and as you move to the right, you can see that they get darker and darker. So torrefaction is basically heating biomass material, be it plant or wood material, in a low oxygen environment, turning it into something that looks like and acts like coal. So there are many problems that are facing manufacturers these days, particularly those who want to make their products greener, more sustainable. They're looking for plant and wood material that can help them accomplish that much more easily. And coal users are facing some major challenges these days, particularly electric utilities. And if you recall, on Monday, the Environmental Protection Agency issued new rules about carbon pollution. So utilities are looking for ways to add more renewable fuels to the process that they use to make electricity. Torrefaction creates that type of material and that type of fuel that can both solve problems for manufacturers and for coal users. So AgriTech North Carolina's business model will be to make a plastics filler that allows one to make stronger, lighter, and water-resistant plastics. You may have seen the auto part on our table outside. Biochar soil amendments so that your home garden will be much better in growing crops, or farmers can grow crops in poor soil. Bio-coal, and that's what we call the fuel. Now, utilities in Europe are already craving this fuel because they have both incentives as well as mandates to use it, and we're hoping that there may be opportunities here in the States as well. Now, I'm so excited about having been part of Impact3 because it brought me to Charlotte and acquainted me with the coal ash challenges that both this community faces and other parts of North Carolina. And due to the connection to the colleagues that I've worked with here, not only have I learned about that problem, but I've been motivated to come up with a solution. So about a month ago, we developed a remediation strategy that incorporates both our technology and some other technologies that we think can both solve the coal ash problem and simultaneously produce a fuel that utilities can co-fire with coal that's much cleaner. So the markets that AgriTech North Carolina can penetrate are the multi-billion-dollar plastics market here in the US, the garden consumables market, the $40 billion coal market, and by Duke Energy's own estimate, it'll cost about $10 billion to clean up the coal ash here in North Carolina. We estimate that could be a $200 billion market across the country. So let's go back and talk a little bit more about some of the challenges that utilities are facing here in North Carolina. They're having a difficult problem storing and disposing of coal ash. Coal ash cleanups are very expensive. And again, Duke has estimated that cost to be about $10 billion here in North Carolina alone. And on Monday, the EPA issued new rules for carbon pollution that are going to encourage utilities to use more renewable ways of generating electricity. Here's the Riverbend coal ash pond. My understanding is that there are some concerns about it leaking toxins into the city's water supply. Now here's our triple bottom line solution. Using a new patent-pending process that we just recently developed, we can clean up coal ash ponds less costly, less expensively. We can simultaneously produce a clean, renewable biocoal, and we can make it easier for the utilities to meet EPA's new rules. We can save an enormous amount of money, whether the ratepayers end up paying it or the company pays for it. We can create rural investment and jobs, and we can generate profits for investors. Now, the plants that we use, these special biocrops, like all plants, have a process called phytoremediation. Basically, they're using their root systems like straws, and they can draw, in addition to water and nutrients, they can also take the toxins out of whatever material that those roots are in contact with. We can then clean up those plants and then torrefy them to make biocoal. The combined process, I want to emphasize this, results in a much lower remediation cost and also allows us to provide the biocoal at substantially lower cost than we would otherwise provide it. I just want to give you a perspective on what these biocrops are like. The gentleman on the left is standing in a field of sorghum. The gentleman on the right, if you can see him, is immersed in a sea of biomass sorghum, and you can see it's 4 times as large, which means that it has 4 times the capability of cleaning up toxins than standard sorghum would have. So who am I? I'm a 33-year economic development professional who got into that business out of a concern for people who needed jobs. We've been very fortunate to have been funded and supported by the Electric Power Research Institute out of their Charlotte office here in North Carolina. I've also had the opportunity to commercialize technology from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in another company. I was fortunate to be a 2008 Purpose Prize winner for some initiatives that we're working on that relate to what we're talking to you about today. I serve on the Federal Biomass Research and Development Advisory Committee, and I'll be there 8:30 sharp tomorrow morning in Washington, D.C. for our meeting. And I'm very honored to be a candidate for the CLT Joules Accelerator, which I think will help us. So what do we need? We need help in supporting a demo project. We're looking for an ownership and management team. We need to form an advisor committee and raise the necessary capital. I've come to know Charlotte as a place where ideas take off and solutions land. Charlotte, we can do this. Let's get it on.
You mentioned that on Monday, the EPA passed some new regulation, and I believe it was on reducing pollution from coal-fueled power plants. Is that right?
That's right.
How is that going to impact your business? I mean, this is a new development, so what changes might that make?
Well, you might have remembered that I said that the current market for torrefied fuel is Europe. And the reason for that is there is a set of mandates as well as incentives that allow the European utilities to pay a fair price for torrefied fuel. So that market opportunity is there, and it's a profitable opportunity for us. The challenges here in the US have been that the utilities have not had any real pressure or encouragement to use more renewable fuels in their coal-fired plants. And the fact that this carbon limitation is now in place, or will soon be in place, developed by each of the states, creates an opportunity for that market here in the US to expand. But we're equally excited about the fact that the remediation initiative that we've put together allows us to both solve the coal ash problem, but also to be able to create a fuel, that biocoal that I was telling you about, at a lower cost than we would otherwise be able to do that. So we're excited about both the opportunity that the coal ash challenge presents, but also about the ability to expand the market due to the carbon regulations.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.